WCB Podcast, your source for all things Chicago Blackhawks and everything hockey. With your host, Jarom and Tanner. Let's do it. Jarom and Tanner.
All right, it's another edition of the WCB Podcast. It's Jarom and Tanner. What's up, bud?
Nothing much, man. Just watching some Blackhawks W's again.
Blackhawks W's. Like, what is going on right now? Like, I don't know. That might be the episode name. Early favor, but like, what is going on? January has been
WWW. What is going on?
But yeah, this team for some reason, new year, new team, and decides to fucking win hockey games in the worst possible time of the season to be doing so.
Yeah, right.
I don't understand. What is it? So January. Oh, so looking at February.
We're 6-5 in January so far.
6-5 in January. At one point, they were 6-3. They won 6 of 7. They had multiple 3-game winning streaks. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
And half of that came without Kane.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know, man. Like, they're scoring more goals. They're still not, like, they're giving up more than they're scoring still, but, like, I don't know. It's really weird. In like the whole season leading up to January, they were just above 2 goals per game, and then all of January they're at 3. Their penalty kills at 90% in January versus like 72 for the rest of the season. I don't know what they did, but yeah, like you said, new year, new me. It's just guys, it's not what we're supposed to do. It's like new year, new me is when the season starts next year. Like, yeah, that's right. What it is.
You got number 98 in your roster.
Yeah.
That is the new you. Or 16. I don't know what he's going to do. I know he uses both. But anyway. But yeah, they're scoring more. They're scoring a lot more. They've had 12 different players score goals during just the span of the last time we recorded, from the Buffalo game up into the Vancouver game, which is just, it's crazy. And then there's only two people on the roster that haven't gotten a point in that span, one being Jack Johnson and the other being Luke Philp. Got called up in a weird set of roster moves that the Hawks did that involved the name Philip or Philp or just PH anything.
A form of
Philp, which is I don't know, but Hawks go 3-2 since we last recorded Buffalo, and talk about Seth Jones just shoving up my pooper. Talking about how he was the disappointment of the season so far, and what does he do? He answers with a fucking game-tying goal and the game-winning goal in overtime.
Yeah, it was pretty funny that happened, especially since like the Hawks came back down 3-1.
Yeah,
he had a 3-point night too, because he got an assist on Kurashev's goal, then he scored to tie, and then he scored to win.
I think it was like in 9 games, he matched the total points that he had for the first 34 games of the season.
Oh, the first 9 games in January?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was on like a streak of like 9. Like, he's been playing good hockey, which is
he's got 12 points in January for a total of 22 points on the season. So he's got most of his points in the last 11 games.
2 goals.
And honestly,
6 points in the last week since we recorded.
Yeah, because against the Sabres and against Philadelphia, he had 2 3-point nights. Okay.
No,
it was literally the first 2 games. Was it? Wait,
he only had 1 point against Philadelphia.
Oh, it was Seattle. It was 3 points. Sorry, never mind. I was gonna say that would have been so funny if it was 3 points and then 3 points literally after we said he was not great. But yeah, 6 points in 2 games there. But
the only game he didn't have a point since our last recording was LA.
Yeah, and I mean they only scored 1 goal that game.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's hilarious.
But it's like, this is like this consistency. If he could keep this up, and it's like, I think that sounds some of the critics a little bit. No, or is it just no matter what he does, it's never going to be?
I don't know if it's something that they change their focus on, or if it's just now working a little bit more. Like if the puck luck is just now in his favor, because from what I've noticed, on these points that he's getting, like most of them are coming from the point. But instead of doing the thing that Duncan Keith used to do, which was just like half clap bombs into the fucking shin guards of the guy in front of you, like he's got his head up, and then he's just not even hard, but like throwing it through, making sure it gets to the net.
Smart
And
shots.
like,
yeah,
exactly. Like it doesn't have to be hard. It's just on net from far with traffic. And then you got guys like Kershev in the Sabres game who ends up getting a stick on it. And then Taves scored a goal recently. I forgot which game it was in, but he did the same thing, just coming across the front, gets a stick on it, gets the tip, and it just goes
Philly
in.
goal.
I think it was Philly. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, because it's assisted by Jones. Yep. But yeah, man, like they're just for whatever reason scoring goals now. Like it's hilarious.
I don't understand. Yeah, and it's like
4, 4, 5, 1, 2.
And it's like I'm excited to watch good hockey. Okay, good hockey in quotes, because it's still not great hockey. They're just coming away with wins. Like it's
exciting.
Some sloppy hockey, but it's exciting to watch. It's like, oh shit, like that Buffalo game, you're at the edge of your seat because they're tying up late, they're winning in overtime. Like, let's go.
Right.
They're beating teams like St. Louis, which holy fuck, Bennington. Like, you love to see it.
You love to see it.
2 goals on 3 shots for Bennington to start the game.
I think it was 2 goals on 3 shots.
He got pulled, like he only had he let up 3 or 4 goals.
He let up 4 on 7 shots, I think.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, 4 goals on 7 shots.
It's such a shame that he signed for 4 more years at $6 million per.
Oh, such a shame.
Such a shame. Poor St.
Honestly, like during that game, after they chased Bennington out of the net, and like St. Louis had scored 2 goals to make it 4-3. I was like, I don't fucking care if they come back and win. I was like, this is a dub both ways then, because we chase Bennington and we lose, so we go down in the standings. Fucking great. And the other good thing too is St. Louis isn't even in a playoff spot, which I don't think they are still, and so that just ruins their chances at like being in a lottery spot to get first overall. So it would have been like a win.
Yeah, St. Louis currently has 49 points. Calgary holds the second wild card spot. It's got 55. So they are falling fast.
Yeah,
I mean only the top 10 teams or bottom 10 teams, right? 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, bottom 10.
So they're falling into it.
Are they really? See, that's why they should have won. That's what I'm saying. Like if they win that game,
no, they're just outside. They're just outside by 1 point. Detroit's got the last spot. Yeah.
If they hover in that I don't even want it to be 11. I want it to be I guess 11. 11, 12, 13-ish area. Like that's great. Like have them move up to third. I don't give a shit because we'll get fucking first overall still. Oh, it's beauty.
God, love to see it. Love to see it.
But yeah, we ended up winning that game anyway, so that's nice. That's nice anyway too, just to beat St. Louis.
Yeah. We beat Buffalo in overtime, Philadelphia 4-1. First time the Blackhawks won in regulation in Philadelphia since 1996, snapping a 7-game losing streak.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's weird
in the regular season though too.
But the only win, unless Chris Foster's was wrong, their only win was the game 6. Did they win another game in that playoff series?
In Philly?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know. It might have just been a home and home thing until game 6.
Yeah. So
I don't remember. That's so long ago.
That's crazy. And then beat St. Louis, which an awesome thing with that game. We had a NHL debut. Jackson Stauber. Yeah.
Yes, Jackson Stauber.
Stauber gets his first career start, first career win against St. Louis. He looked pretty good doing it.
Yeah, he had made some big saves. I mean, by the time the Hawks scored their first goal, I think that he already made like 7 to 9 saves or something like that.
They peppered the Hawks early.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Hawks only had 6 shots on goal, or no, 3 shots. They had 6 shots attempts, 3 actually hit the net. St. Louis had 19 attempts that first period with 11 actually registered. Like they peppered him and he
Yeah,
said,
I mean that's what you got to do.
but
It's hilarious.
yeah.
Um,
After that, we came back home, played LA 2-1, lost 2-1. So 3 meetings, it's the Kings, all 3 games ended 2-1, which
did we
is
win the first one? I
we
think so,
won the
right? It was
first
an
one.
OT.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
second one was an OT though too, wasn't it? This is
Let's
the only one that ended in regulation.
think so. That I'm not 100% sure. Let me go back and look. And while I'm looking, why don't you talk about something from the game?
Which one? Because that's the only game I didn't get to watch because
Okay.
it was on NHL Network.
Uh,
Sorry.
really
Um,
quick. Okay, the first game I saw, LA, yeah, both overtime.
okay. Yeah, it's right.
So, all
I don't
right.
know, man. I didn't really like watch highlights or anything. I was just like, oh, that sucks. Like 2-1, whatever. We lost. That's fine.
It's
Um,
all's right in the world once again. The Blackhawks are losing. They're in the L category. They still are sitting at like that 30, 31, 32 mark in the league. Then comes up Vancouver last night, and I definitely didn't watch this one because it was just too late for me. I fucking get up at 5 o'clock to
oh
watch
yeah,
this
because
one.
it's West Coast.
Yeah. So
I fell asleep during the third period too, and I'm literally an hour difference. Like, come on, man, this is ridiculous.
this game had the setup for just an absolute disaster. Could have been, and when I say disaster, could have been a disaster for the Hawks in the sense of they win a game again and move up the standings. Also, they could have got embarrassed because Colin Delia, ex Blackhawk Revenge Tour, was in
Yeah,
that.
but I don't really consider him part of the revenge tour because he wasn't like a mainstay on the roster. Whereas like Doc, Strome, DeBrincat, like those guys, like or
I
Kubalik,
I would
like
consider him a main, like a reason why he was part of the Revenge Tour is because he was never truly given his shot to show anything. Like he only got a game here
no,
and there.
he
Not
during this shortened season when it was Malcolm Subban, Colin Delia, and Kevin Lankinen, he played 2 games and had like a 5 goals against average, and they're like,
two
okay,
games.
no,
He never had, he
yeah,
never had another
because
chance.
because after that, then Kevin Lankinen like ended up winning some games, and we were in a playoff spot for that part. But it's just
Agree to
like,
disagree, whatever.
fuck is Delia doing?
But
Oh
yeah,
my god.
also you had Rick Tocchet era of Vancouver Canuck
Mhm.
hockey beginning, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in NHL talk. So I mean, there was a lot to curious how this game was going to play out, and holy shit, just looking at the stats, Vancouver comes out buzzing, put up 48 shots on goal compared to the Hawks 14.
Yeah, they had about 20 something in the first period. It was ridiculous.
Jesus Christ.
So it was
Yeah,
just
21 to
shot calls.
6,
Yep.
21 to 6, 14 to 4, 13 to 4.
And the greatest part about that too is the fact that the Hawks came out of the first period with the lead after getting outshot 21-6.
Yeah, didn't a Vancouver
And
jersey get tossed too right away after that goal?
yeah. Oh no, it was within the first 5. Oh, it might have been. No, because Kinger scored towards the end of the period. It was within the first 5 minutes of the period that they just threw a jersey on the ice as because I don't know, man. That's just
It's
it's the
because of
dumbest thing I've ever. I just think it's so stupid. Like whatever. You
what's
disagree. You already purchased the fucking jersey. Like I don't
what
understand why you're
is
throwing it on
dumber?
the ice.
What is dumber? Hockey fans that throw their jerseys on the ice, or Dallas Cowboy fans that go and destroy their TV after the Cowboys lose in the playoffs?
It's just stupid all around. I don't even
Like,
know.
or
I
people that
think
burn their jerseys because somebody signed somewhere else.
yeah, no. I think buying the Vancouver Canucks jersey, buying tickets to the Vancouver Canucks game, just to throw the jersey on the ice because you're pissed, and you're spending money like at home. You're breaking a TV. Yeah, that's stupid. TV can easily be replaced, but like you didn't pay the team for the TV. Like you're paying the team for the jersey and the tickets.
Yeah.
That you fucking it's stupid. Like whatever, man. Like that's just dumb. But yeah, it was just funny because I I mean Delia I don't think is that great. And so Kaner's goal was just a soft one from like the point almost. Oh, it just found the top of the net. It was so funny.
Um,
Yeah, they if they would have gotten more than 14 shots, I'm sure they would have gotten more goals, but 14 fucking shots on net against 48. So you think that Vancouver like was really excited to play for Tocchet? Like Jesus Christ.
it's kind of frustrating. It's like, where was that for Bruce? But you know
Right.
what? We'll save that again for NHL talk, because I'm sure we want to talk about that organization for a little bit. Yeah. Anything else that really stood out to you for this game?
No. This was this is Philp's first game. So this is the game where they made all the roster moves.
Yeah, they
Um,
sent down
they sent down Isaac Phillips and brought up Philip Roos and Luke Philp. Is it Luke Philp?
Luke Philp.
Yeah, Luke Philp. So it was just Philip down, Philp up, Philp up.
And they also put Tyler Johnson in the IR for the same ankle injury, which I feel like he might be done for the year.
I mean, he's had actually a really good season.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
If you look at his stats, other than that, during that week, man, Reese Johnson, 2 goals, baby. He almost scored against Vancouver too. It's like Reese Johnson, if he gets hot, man, you gotta watch out.
Watch out.
50 goals coming in.
Reese Johnson jersey coming Tanner's way soon here.
Dude, absolutely. I gotta get it. I don't know what it is about Reese Johnson, but that guy, he's great. I love him.
Another thing that really stood out to me over this past week of games is goaltending, man. It is still, you talked about it last week being the surprise for the first half of the season, and it's like they're still doing a great job. Obviously, we're not winning games. I mean, we were winning games, but it's like these games are close. They're not complete blowouts. They're not embarrassing losses. Like these guys are bailing this team out so many times. Like Mrazek finished 2-2 with a 9.31 save percentage and a 2.52 goals against average over the last week. And
9.31 save percentage, really?
Yeah.
God damn, dude. Yeah. Yes. See, their stats don't show wins because the Hawks don't score. The Hawks scored this last week and they got fucking wins, man. Like,
I mean, then Stauber, it was his only one game, but he was 1-0, 9.06 save percentage with three goals against average. So it's like,
which is great for your first ever career start
against your team's rival. Like, those games are hot. I mean, in that game too, Isaac Phillips even got into a quote unquote fight. Like, he really didn't do much. I mean, he got just pounded. He did try the spinning back.
Yeah, he was falling down and tried to throw a spinning back fist at him. I was like, what the fuck just happened there? Yeah, man, that was crazy.
Oh man, but yeah, so it's there's good things, like bad hockey's being played, like record wise, but it's like there's still positives, and like that's what you kind of got to hold on to. And kind of too, I want to mention this when we're talking about the roster rooms really quick too. It's like this is pretty much going to be on par probably for the rest of the season. I mean, it's going to be inventory time and seeing what you guys have in the minors and just kind of bring guys up, get them a little bit of experience, see if they can handle it and what to do next.
The other good thing about it happening now too is trade deadlines coming up. If the Hawks are playing well right now and like they're clearly sellers, like guys that are declining in other teams or just not producing, they're gonna be like, hey, like this guy's hot right now in the Hawks. Maybe we can get him, and like it might be a little bit more value than what they had maybe a month or two ago when the Hawks were just real bad.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. So it's like there's a lot of good things coming on. One good thing that's not going on right now is the broadcast booth, and we were joined by our good buddy Poetz, OG Bender here. So let's go to that really quick, and we'll hear what Poetz has to say about the broadcast team.
And we'll come back and do NHL talk, huh?
Yeah, a little bit more Hawks talk, but we'll be back.
Oh, a little bit more Hawks talk. Okay, sounds good.
All right, so now we are joined by a very familiar face. You might recognize him, old-time OG listeners here. The one, the only, Poetzy. What's up, bud? How are you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you two beautiful humans doing?
Doing okay, man. Watching some Hawks wins, but not exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of pissing me off a little.
See, and I would say I would be watching some Hawks wins, but I haven't been watching, and there's a reason why Poetz is here, and it's the reason why I really haven't been watching. But you know what, Poetz? Give us your opinion on the commentary team for the Chicago Blackhawks this season.
I want to rewind just a couple of years. Okay. where everything really started to go downhill. When the Blackhawks brought in a man by the name of Colby Cohen. That was step number one of the absolute dumpster fire of what's going on in the broadcast booth right now. Colby Cohen is public enemy number one among Blackhawks fans. I don't know a single person that enjoys listening to him. Not a single one. He ruins the broadcast. Put Pierre Maguire back there. Actually, let's put him back in between the benches. Would rather have him than listen to Colby Cohen talk about when I was in the NCAA Division I National Championship in Chicago. I don't care, Colby.
Dustin Bufflin.
Yeah, I don't care. Give me creepy Pierre Maguire instead. Get Colby out of there. Nobody cares about your crappy NCAA Division I history, okay? Nobody cares. Done. Number one, Colby Cohen. Okay, number two, Chris Foster's. So I like the way he sounds. He's got a good pitch to his voice. His goal call is actually somewhat exciting. There's a few things that he does that just make me want to jump off a cliff onto 94 in rush hour. First of all, when the play is too fast or when it's really starting to ramp up, he can't keep up. Domi, Kane, Taves, Jones, Domi, block. Domi, Kane, block. Save, Domi, block. No, it's words. You're saying words. Your job is to describe things. You have to be descriptive with it.
I think my favorite thing that when you brought that up, I was like, oh my God, he literally just says names. And right after you had mentioned it, I forgot which game I was watching, but it was just him going, Radish, Radish, Radish. And I was like, whoa. And do you know what happened on that play? Because he shot it wide, put it around the back of the net, and then got another shot attempt. And that was it.
And that's the other thing. It's television. So you don't have to describe everything. If it's radio, different story.
Right.
You're trying to paint the picture in people's heads.
It's like a PowerPoint presentation. You don't have to exactly read off of the board. But
got the note cards. That's what you need to read right there, right here.
Exactly.
But I mean, Jones at the point moves it to Kane. Kane back to Jones. Like, you don't have to just come on, give me some flow. That, hate it. The other thing, one of the other things that he does, I don't think he properly looks up his stats.
No.
Prime example was the other day, Ian Mitchell scored a goal. First career NHL goal for Ian Mitchell. Guy had 3.
It's fourth of his career.
Yeah, the guy had 3 leading up to that. So whether or not he just wasn't looking at it, or he meant oh, that was the first of the season for Ian Mitchell. I don't know. But at the same time, not a great look.
Did you catch the mistake he made in Philly?
Be more Chris.
So Kane's coming in and he misses the net high. And he goes, oh, Kane's trying to recreate, the magical top shelf goal that he had back in 2010. The one that was on the ice that went 5-hole that nobody knew was a goal or not because it went underneath the goalie's pads, not top shelf.
I'm so confused.
It's painful.
I think on more than one occasion, it's at least these two players, but he'll mix up Lafferty and Kurashev just because they're 23 and 24. And I know earlier on in the season, he definitely messed up people all the time. And he got a little bit better, but those two, he still is Kurashev with a shot and he's not even on the ice. All right, bud.
Yeah. I don't, and there was also one game where it was the pregame intro, whatever, they were doing fine. It was him and Troy Murray. They're at home. So he does 41 home games a year. And he signs off the pregame stuff before the anthem. And he goes, we'll be back after the national anthem after this, yada, yada. And then they came back afterwards and Chris goes, well, I just missed you a lot. But here's Jim Cornelison with the national anthem. So for sure, somebody down at the truck was like, hey, you dumbass, you have to introduce Jim Cornelison like you do for every other home game, you jackass. So just know what you're doing, number one. Number two, number three, the pronunciation of names that he has for everybody.
Is it so?
Soderblom? Soderblom.
Yes.
Soderblom. Soldering iron.
I remember watching that game against Montreal after Thanksgiving, and literally every period I'm like, wait, what did he just? I'm terrible with names. And even I'm like, you're a fucking moron, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
I was ready for a pass more after a couple minutes. Like, what? Let's go. Keep going through them.
It was like every game that Arvid was playing, he was just like, let's try this one. It's like, what?
Yeah. Try something different, I guess.
You figure you can probably just get somebody to ask him how to pronounce his last name, and then there it is. It's done.
You're telling me. So I've been doing games for the Chicago Cougars, and they've got a pronunciation sheet. You're telling me a USPHL hockey team is able to do that, and the Blackhawks don't?
We're prepared.
Maybe he doesn't know like how to do the pronunciation, how to read it correctly.
He's actually looking at it going, so dark blue.
This is not how you spell his name. I do not know what this is. Oh my god! I think what was it? You mentioned the other day too. I think it was against San Jose when Barabanov maybe came out of the corner and then went 5-hole, and he said he tucked it inside the post.
Tucked it inside the post. It went right through his 5-hole. Hit the middle of the net.
Like, where are we watching the same game? What is happening?
Did he have a history of hockey broadcasting before this?
NCAA.
So there's no excuse. I mean, he knows the game.
Yeah, it's not like bad hockey. It's not great hockey. I don't think it's his number one sport though. I think baseball or basketball is his number one sport or something.
He would make sense as a baseball guy. Very dragged out,
slower,
doesn't really say much,
slower.
And he tries very hard. You know me, I love a good dad joke. That's right up my alley. He tries so hard to make awful jokes and make whoever he's working with laugh, which, by the way, the rolling of Troy Murray, Patrick Sharp, Colby Cohen, Kaylee Chelios every now and again, I'm over it. Just give me one guy.
Commit.
One.
Just one guy or a tandem?
Just one tandem. I don't need to go into this thing thinking, oh, am I going to hear Troy? Oh, no, it's Colby Cohen. Awesome. I'm going to shoot myself. Like, come on. I need something different. Or I need something the same, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I need some consistency.
Yes. He makes the worst dad jokes, and the awkward silence that happens afterwards is so painful. And you get just that. I feel the hatred coming from whoever he's working with. Because Troy Murray doesn't like him. You can tell Troy Murray doesn't like him. If you listen to Troy when he's with John Weideman on the radio versus Troy when he's on TV with Chris Foster's.
You got a UFO out there?
Yeah.
That's there's an Air Force base near us, and I think that was one of the like massive helicopters.
You're gonna see a bright white light coming through your window.
All right. All of a sudden it's daytime. Jesus.
I think you can't jump into that kind of, you have to create your own personality. You can't just jump into being like the awkward joke guy, because then you're just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's times when like Sharpie's out there and he's just like, you ever do anything like that, Sharpie? He's like, no. Like, you put me on the spot for something that never happened.
Yesterday against Vancouver, he was like, yeah, Sharpie, you're finally a journalist. You're actually asking some questions to Patrick Kane or something like that. And I was like, what are you talking about? I would have punched him right in the mouth.
What a dick. Like,
what? Right. Also, oh my God, now I'm thinking about it too. He's always the one that did all the intermission segments with Patrick Kane sisters, which were always really bad.
I still have not watched that because of how uncomfortable it is.
He just lets it fucking happen too.
Yeah.
Doesn't try to save him. He's just like, yes. Like, this is awful.
So I'm trying not to be picky about it, is his head abnormally large? Is it just the actual head part? Is it his hair? Is it the whole thing?
He's an awkward looking dude. Like, have you ever seen him when he like posts like stuff with like, I don't know if you follow him on social media, but he posts his like picture in just like everyday clothes, and he just looks so fucking awkward.
Yeah.
Like something about him is off.
Because he is.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't understand how he was the best option. There's no way.
Well, the options were not great.
That's true. They did have that tryout last year for everybody.
You had an entire season to figure something out.
But listen, Jarom has mentioned before, like maybe he's just the Colleton of this situation. You can't really follow up a Foley with somebody just as spectacular, you know? Like you need to have the buffer of like, this is awful, and then the next person that comes in has a little bit of leeway to like build up.
They really appreciate him.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then I'm gonna throw a party the day that he's gone. But even still, like
was Nick Olczyk a play-by-play guy?
No, he was color guy. He was color. Which, by the way, listening to him and Pat Foley do the Winter Classic.
Oh, how was that?
Oh yeah,
everything. Oh, it was so good. Yeah. That was awesome. You could tell Pat hadn't looked at a roster in 6 months for sure. Like 3 days before the game, he printed off that sheet and went, "Oh, okay," and just kind of went for it.
He had no idea David Krejci was back on the Bruins and actually back in the United States. Like
he said Boston Penguins at one point, and like I'm sitting there and I was like, he's back. I love him. He's back, baby.
Oh, that's so good.
He has earned the right to say that kind of stuff. Foster's not yet, nowhere close.
And for me, knowing that he fought so hard, shut up, dog. He fought so hard to be the radio guy on the Hawks when they went to the simulcast in 05-06. He fought so hard for that, and then Bill Wirtz is like, "Fuck you, no, you're going on TV where you're supposed to be." Knowing that he was back on radio again, which is what he's wanted this whole time, and he was so much better than I've heard him in years, probably because of the break too. But he painted the picture. Like I felt like I was actually there. I was driving home from Ohio. We went to go see family, and I listened to it in the car, and I literally felt like I was there from what he was describing with the whole thing. And he made it exciting, especially with the goal at the end that got waved off. He went
at the very last second.
Yeah, he lost it. It was great. But shut up. I'm not talking to you.
Jesus.
But yeah, it was really good to hear him. And Nicky Olczyk is just so good.
He sounds so much like his dad.
Yeah, when he first came on, I was just like, oh, why does Eddie sound weird?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was with him, and I was like, Nick, who the fuck's Nick? Like, it's wild.
He's really good. He's gonna have a pretty long career after him. So
they definitely got to figure something out with this team going forward. I don't know how long his contract is with the Hawks or anything like that, but it's like,
and it's not even just in the broadcast booth anymore. The intermission show's a joke.
Yeah,
the intermission show's an absolute joke. I love Pat Boyle, but he's kind of lost it for me. I don't know what happened, but he's lost it for me. Kaylee Chelios is fine, but there are just sometimes that she opens her mouth and she says something that makes absolutely no sense and has no correlation, whatever. Yeah. Like, what'd you think of that first period? My favorite color is purple. Like, that's not what we asked, Kaylee. No. What?
What about Scott?
Colby, we know we hate him. And then Scott Darling, I don't know if it's the beard. I don't know if it's just the fact that he just looks weird up there, but I don't like it. I don't want it. I want Sharpie back.
He just doesn't seem to like find like his comfort there yet. Like he's kind of got his like stand up mentality going up there. Like I feel like he feels like he's got to be on and delivering and
being like he's got to be the funny guy.
Yeah.
I honestly think that whoever was in charge of the hiring committee kind of went down the lineup of old Blackhawks that are done. And we're like, okay, who's popular right now? Okay, Darling's going back into stand up. Okay, we're gonna pick him and we're gonna put him there. Like, okay, good.
Yeah. Well, they had during the St. Louis game. I don't know if it was the most recent one, but one of the recent St. Louis games, they had him read like mean tweets that St. Louis fans had sent to him, and it was just like not good.
It's never good. That's never good.
Yeah, because he's like he's reading it and like he stumbles over some of the tweets, and then he's also like throwing in like a little response, and I'm just like, they should end this right now. Like this is kind of cringy. Like, oh my god, like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but the whole thing is bad. It's tough because we went from having Pat and Eddie, one of the best duos that you could possibly find, and then going into the intermission show with Jamal Mayers, Patrick Sharp, those kind of guys who were actually very well spoken and knew what the hell they were talking about, and not Colby Cohen talking about like, oh, I didn't want to skate on the United Center ice because I thought I was going to mess it up too much because I can't skate very good. Like, who are you? Shut up.
What?
Shut up.
One more time he brings up his time playing Boston University. I swear to God. Like,
nobody cares.
There's no point to it.
Nobody cares. So it's tough. It's painful to watch. We were sitting down watching the other day. Yeah, I know. And my fiance goes, is the Blues broadcast on? Can we watch that instead? And I was like, no.
Oh God.
No. I would, but it's not.
Oh, so, it's not on. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, we don't have it, but I would if it was there.
Yeah, that's bad. That is really bad. Especially when you listen to like one of those like St. Louis team, like rival
Boston
instead. Yeah. Oh God.
Watch a Boston broadcast.
What would you do? Yeah. Who would you rather listen to?
Who would I rather listen to?
Yeah, Jack Edwards or Chris Foster's.
On the spot. Didn't know.
I honestly think Chris Foster's.
Yeah.
I can't do Jack.
No.
I can't.
No way, man.
No, I can't believe he still has a job.
That's Boston.
The amount of shit that he's done.
Hawk Harrelson of hockey.
Oh my God. I can't believe he has a job still. Yeah. It's inexplicable. Go back to St. Louis broadcasts. Did you guys see, switching sports, Chip Carey is now the St. Louis Cardinals broadcaster?
Oh shit.
Yeah. He was the old Cubs guy, and his Harry Carey grandson.
Grandson.
Yeah, grandson. So
he was doing Atlanta for a while, then he was just doing TNT or TBS or whatever. Yeah. That's awesome. Good for him.
Well, and he tweeted something out the other day. He's like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually going into the lion's mouth or something like that of St. Louis.
Yeah.
And gassing for the Cardinals. I thought that was kind of funny. So
interesting.
Yeah. No, it's tough. It's a tough product on the ice. It's a tough product at the booth.
Yeah.
Listening on the radio has been my friend.
There you go.
There's actually there's a period of time, real quick, that John Weideman was out. I don't know if he was sick or what.
They took away games from him. He's working a reduced schedule this year.
But I thought they were saying that he was sick or something too. I don't know. It might have been that. I don't know. But Joe Brand, who's usually their like pre-post game intermission host and stuff like that on WGN, he stepped in and he's actually doing a pretty good job. So like that right there, like that problem is solved. Joe Brand.
Was it by comparison doing a good job with the rest of the bunch, or was it actually doing?
It was actually doing a good job.
Okay.
So like that right there. Hey Joe, we're gonna have you on radio.
Yeah.
We'll hire somebody else to do the in-game hosting, pre-game hosting. John, you're gonna go to TV. It's it's at least a watchable, listenable fucking product now.
I'm just thinking about this now, and this is like just literally sent like shivers down my spine of how bad of an idea this is. Listening to Chris Foster's call Connor Bedard's first goal as Chicago Blackhawk. Connor Bedard. Goal.
Bedard.
Nope. Jones, Domi, Kane, Jones, Domi, Radish, Domi, Kane, Bedard, Goal! That's what it would be. That's what it would be.
Oh yeah, not good.
Talk
Not
about puck movement on that play just then. That was some crisp
Also,
stuff.
also the fact that those guys are all still on the team.
I was gonna say the fact that you still have Kane out there.
Perfect world, Tanner. Perfect world.
right. I mean,
All right.
I always say, like, in the offseason, if we can re-sign Kane, I'm down. If Domi wants to come
Dude,
back,
I'm
that's
starting to
fine.
think
He's
he's
having
not
a good
gonna be
season.
moved. I'm really starting to think they won't get moved.
There's a good shot. There's a good shot that they stay.
All right, before we let you go, Poets, any comments on the season in general you want to throw out there?
No, not really.
Any surprises?
Taylor Radish is or Taylor. Yeah, it is Taylor.
Taylor. Yep.
All right, Chris is in my head now. He has actually had an underratedly very good season.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like he's pretty consistently putting some goals up and putting some points up. So I thought he's been good. I think this is the best Taves has looked since he was sick, honestly.
100%.
He's not really putting the points up there, but the fact that he's still the best faceoff man in the league.
Yeah. The team is number 1 in the league in faceoffs too, which is
phenomenal.
crazy.
Yeah, that's
Phenomenal.
crazy.
So I don't know. It is what it is. We saw it coming. It sucks looking back at that Seth Jones trade and seeing what it is now. I'm glad that he's starting to shoot more on the power play, and now we're starting to get goals and points from our defensemen on the power play. Weird how that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. It sucks, but hopefully it's for a
Good cause.
Hopefully Columbus continues to lose.
Hopefully Columbus continues to
Oh,
lose.
you don't want Columbus.
Or I'm sorry, continues to win. Sorry, continues to win.
Well, it doesn't matter because Columbus, that ball says Columbus. They're going to go and redo.
Sorry, wrong ball.
Yeah, God. That would be the worst thing.
That was just the practice one. One.
There's no way the NHL lets Bedard go to a small market. There's no way.
Arizona, Columbus.
I can see Arizona because of Bettman's whole
because they want to.
They own them.
Yeah. So I mean, I could see that, but
and then when Austin Matthews is available, you get Bedard and Matthews in Arizona.
Still playing in a 5,000 seat college arena.
I would absolutely go.
I am making it official right now that they should not move out of that arena ever. I think that's
it's awesome. It's unreal. I love it.
Yeah.
It's such a joke, but it's amazing.
They play so well there. I'm so sick of betting against them. They beat Boston, Colorado.
Yeah, they went on a stretch of beating every team that's
money because they keep winning.
Yeah,
they beat Vegas twice too there.
Yeah.
They beat Seattle there too, I thought.
Unreal.
Wow.
All right, Poets. Well, we knew after the group text you had to vent a little bit about the announcing, and considering that's your forte area here. Things are coming on, and this is awesome.
Thank you. This is good for my soul. I'll probably need it again after a couple of games.
Open invite, man. Anytime you want.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks, boys.
All right. Love you, bud.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so it's always good hearing from Poets, and he's just so colorful with his explanation and anger, and he was a lot more vulgar and intense in the group chat when we originally talked about having him come on to talk about this. So, but no, I agree with him wholeheartedly on everything he said about the broadcast team, and it's like I brought it up at the very end there, and it's like now that I said something, it's really just been sitting in my head that once this team gets good, Vosters has got to get either so much better, or they got to find somebody that can make this a legitimate team in the broadcast booth, because you can't have Kane to Jones to Radish, or to Kane, Jones, Radish, Bedard, goal. You can't have that.
Yeah. And I'm so mad that he brought it up in our group chat last week, because I never actually paid that much attention until I was just like, yes, it was. And I was like fucking red pilled about it. And it was just like, welcome to the real world. And I was like, God damn it, this is the worst thing ever.
I brought it up
it's-
one time earlier in the season, and nobody ever said anything in the group chat. I'm like, all right, fine, it's just me, whatever. And then post started, you guys were all going off. I'm like, thank you. Like, finally, somebody understands it. Like,
Vindication. Like, oh
yeah,
my God.
but yeah. So I don't know. Let us know what you think, because I don't think we're alone on this one here. Real
Did
quick,
we ruin it for everyone at this
I
point?
hope so. Yeah, hopefully it's a glass shatter moment for everybody. You're Alice going down the rabbit hole, and there's no coming back from it. Let's go. All right, real quick before we look at the next week of games ahead, let's do the 3 stars for last week. I have a couple in mind, but I want to see who you think.
Oh, yeah. Seth Jones. 1.
Okay. Yep, I had him.
Peter Mrazek.
Had him.
Reese Johnson.
I didn't have him.
Always Reese Johnson. That's what I'm just gonna go. Oh, actually, Kurashev had a good week.
Kurashev. I had Stauber.
Kurashev. Oh, Stauber, yeah. Kurashev, man, like they brought it up during the last game too. That like you can start to see the confidence more and more, and I feel like he's getting the puck more too now. And I'm getting more comfortable with him having it. Whereas like when he first was starting on the team, which is wild because it feels like it's been forever, but he's only like 22 or whatever. Let's see, how old is he for real? Kurashev. 20, he's 23. So he's been on the team for like last like 4 seasons though.
Yeah. He's been really good. And
last 3 seasons. And I feel like he's been more relied on as a defensive third line kind of guy.
he's just been the floater. Like he really hasn't had a role. It's just kind of like, all right, go out and do what you can do type of player.
Right. Now that he's getting more of like the top 6 minutes and like produce offensively, like trusted with the puck, like you're just starting to see more confidence in him. And I'm really excited. Like I hope he just is like the kind of guy that we can just hold on to and be the type of player that maybe doesn't put up a ton of points, but becomes like a mainstay, like clutch player that other fans on other teams would be like, who the fuck is Philip Kurashev? He's like, yeah, he's actually pretty fucking good. Like,
what else has got me really excited too is if he ends up being a linemate with Reichel going forward, because the two of them together,
yeah, they were.
That would be the sole reason I would want, like a really big reason why I would want to keep Domi on the team too, because that line was fucking flying together. Oh my God, that was awesome. All right, so you want to go? Let's go. Stauber, sorry, I know career goal. We always do like career first. You get a star, but I think Kurashev has been playing unreal.
You can just do Stauber. It's fine.
No, we're doing Kurashev. Kurashev, it's been said.
Yeah, Kurashev's tight.
We'll go Seth Jones. Seth Jones 1, Mrazek 2, Kurashev 3.
Yes. Did the Hawks not score a power play goal this whole week? Holy shit.
They didn't.
No, I just noticed that every point this week from everybody was even strength.
Okay, well, they got to figure that out a little bit. But looking up at the schedule ahead, they have.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't even paying attention to what you said. 1, 2, and 3. Did you put Seth Jones 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Mrazek 2, and Kurashev 3.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
Okay. So coming up, they have Calgary tomorrow or tonight when you're listening to this, and then Edmonton on Saturday, and then that is it for Blackhawk hockey until February 7th after the All-Star break. For some reason, they have an entire week off. I didn't think they did the bye week still in hockey, but there are games being played that week that the Hawks are off. But hopefully they enjoy their week off and they go a little too hard and they come back on a little rusty against the Ducks on the 7th and lose some standing points there. But quickly before we move on to NHL talk, there are a couple things that were going around like trade rumors and starting to still take it with a grain of salt, but there were some rumors that the Blackhawks are getting calls from Edmonton, LA, and Toronto on Connor Murphy and Jake McCabe. The interesting note about that is Jake McCabe has every Canadian team except for Toronto on his no trade list. So
yeah, which is hilarious.
Americans don't want to play in Canada. It's like, and you can't blame them, especially with everything going on since the COVID era. Because I mean, they still, I think, have restrictions out there.
Oh, so I would assume so, but I didn't even think that was the reasoning. I just figured it's because you don't see yourself being traded to anybody else that's going to likely win the cup other than Toronto.
It's true.
If you have to if you like wanted to go to a competing team and the Canadian teams are calling, it's like, yeah, like I'll go to Toronto.
Yeah, it'll be interesting too to see how those guys they work those trades, because this is gonna be an interesting trade deadline because every team is pushing up against the cap. There's not a lot of energy or enthusiasm that the cap's gonna go up a lot next year.
Yeah.
And a lot of these players that are rumored to be dealt have big cap hits. Like, so Jake McCabe has got $4 million for 2 more years, and then Connor
Which actually
Murphy,
is really good.
it's really good. It's just how are you going to make it work? That's what I'm more curious about. And then Connor Murphy is 4.4 for 3 years after this one. So, and it's like it's like, are you trading Taves and Kane? Because if you can only eat so many contracts, retain so much on a contract, it's like, like how are you going to do that?
I mean, Taves and Kane makes sense as like eating their contract, and maybe Murphy and McCabe aren't somebody that even gets moved to the off season if that's the case. But like if you're a team that wants to make a playoff push and you need like a guy like that, like you might just have the good thing with those is that you can take a decent cap back.
Yeah.
And that'll help out. Like if you're doing just a player swap and picks. Yeah, I mean, those are much more manageable. I think that now that you mentioned the fact that like people are getting pushed up against the cap right now, like this might be one of the more entertaining trade deadlines, actual trade deadline day, that we've seen in a long while, because like for the most part, like the last few years, it's been a lot of trades like happening a week or two before the deadline itself, just to make sure that they get done. But like if teams are trying to maximize their cap space, like it could just be deadline day frenzy again.
And I wonder if there's gonna be some blockbusters made too, like big moves to try to do something.
Right. I wonder. I mean, I haven't been paying attention like super hard to like certain teams, like GMs or anything like that. But like, I'm sure somebody's feeling it, and they might try and make a splash. And hopefully, the Hawks are in on that.
I mean, yeah, the only teams that could pretty much do whatever they want to take on like cap for prospects or picks or whatever is Buffalo, Arizona, and the Ducks. They're all under 70 million in cap hit right now. Then you have the Red Wings, Hawks, Wild, Senators are all in that 70,000 range or 70 million range. And then everybody else is 80 and a half and up. And like, that's a lot of league that you can't do. Talking about trades though too, and then we kind of were talking about this as well, and there was like a report coming out that teams are saying that that's what they expect for Taves, or is it that's what the Hawks are asking for?
That's what teams are saying they expect.
So
the return for Taves would be
a second and a second or a third round pick.
Yeah,
fuck that.
I mean, it makes sense because of the cap situation that's involved with it. If Taves were $2 million less, I'm sure it would probably be a little bit more. But the fact that you don't have as much cap flexibility if you were to take him on. Like I'm sure every team would want Jonathan Taves, but like if you're getting Taves, I think that some teams probably want an extra like firepower or something like that, like, and that kind of hinders that maneuverability at the deadline.
The one that keeps being associated with him is the Jets,
which they're in the first in the West, right?
They're second right now. They're like 1 point behind Dallas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they just keep flip flopping. I think they're
currently they have just over $9 million in deadline cap space.
The Jets?
Yeah.
You
tried. There's no way. Yeah, I don't see, like, I'd rather let him walk for nothing than to only get a second round pick for him or a third round pick for him.
Well, what do you think if the Jets, if they have like $9 million in deadline cap space, you get Taves half retained and like a Jake McCabe,
Then
or
you're talking.
like a Max Domi, like somebody who also like wouldn't need cap retained, but like helps out depth wise.
Yeah. And I just think though too, because it's like I don't follow these teams enough where I can be like, oh well, they want to move this guy, they want to move this guy. So it's like I don't know who on their team, and everybody on their team that have like bigger cap hits are guys that are contributing that they need.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Where like if I'm looking at the Winnipeg Jets and like their cap hit right now, like Brendan Dillon is like somebody I'd look at just because he's 32, makes 3.9. Like, but is he having a good season? Like, I don't know. I know he's a defensive kind of guy. He's a +5, 15 points, 49 games. Just statistically looks like he's probably playing well defensively, especially since the team's doing so well.
Yeah.
But like the other thing too there is like they have 5 defensemen making 3 million or more. Like, do they want a 6th? Probably not. So
Yeah.
I mean,
it's gonna be
a second from Winnipeg for Jonathan Taves, like sure, for the rest of the season, let's re-sign him in the offseason. Like
they don't even have their second this year, so it'd have to be second next year.
oh yeah, I don't know.
That was
Their first is a late first. You never know.
Let's see.
That's I mean, the other thing too is like when there's rumors about like what the value is of certain players, like you just kind of got to take that as like with a grain of salt, you know, because like that's not always the case. Maybe that somebody out there is trying to spread that rumor,
Yeah, no,
just so that like maybe they can get him for that versus like what Davidson is probably asking for. Like
that's hilarious though. They don't have their second pick because they traded for Brendan Dillon.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny that you brought him up. And
Yeah.
yeah, I know it's like, and that's why I say you gotta take it with like a grain of salt, but it's like at the same time, it's like I don't know if it's just us overvaluing our guys or if it's just people undervaluing the true value these players have. Like there's people saying that they wouldn't even take
Probably a little bit of both. There's
yeah.
people saying they wouldn't take Kane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
those are fans that have no fucking clue what they're talking about.
There was like Ranger fans saying that they don't want Kane.
It's because they don't know shit.
It doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Ranger fans, they just became fans of the team like last year.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, we're getting really close to that trade deadline, so this is just going to be picking up, and there's going to be a lot. And I'm not going to comment on stuff. I won't bring up stuff that are reported by like people that I trust, kind of thing. It's like if it's just random like accounts or whatever saying, oh, this person wants this, or these are 4 teams that are tied to Jonathan Taves. It's like, no, I'm not going to say that. It's got to be like Friedman, who else? Like Bob McKenzie, those kind of guys.
Oh, who was it that was talking about DeBrincat over the offseason? That I was just like, fuck that guy.
Frank Cervelli.
Frank Cervelli. I trust him. He was fucking right, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. God damn it.
All right, you got anything else for NHL or Hawks talk?
No.
All right, let's move on quickly here to NHL talk. We'll get this going. First thing I thought was just fucking hilarious that Gary Bettman came out with a statement saying that, oh, teams don't tank. And he said it with a straight face. And his statement is nobody tanks because we have a weighted lottery. You're not going to lose games to increase your odds by a couple of percentage points. That's silly. And frankly, suggesting tanking, I believe, is inconsistent with the professionalism that our players and our coaches have. Nobody tanks. Our players and coaches do their best to win. And again, just because you may finish with the worst record in the league, you've got something like 75% chance that you're not going to get the first pick.
74.5.
Yeah. But like,
there you go, Gary.
Dude, Gary, you're an idiot. Teams tank. Digital boards suck. Shut up.
It's not, I wouldn't say like tank exactly, but like teams are set up to not do well.
Well, right.
Like if the Hawks really wanted to tank, like they wouldn't be playing Stalock or Mrazek or Kane or Taves as much as they are. You know, like they could easily lose games 5-0 all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
they're like the players aren't going to go out there and lose games on purpose. Like they're going out there to win the games all the time, but they may not be in the best position or have the best team to win the games.
What you're saying makes more sense than I think tanking's the wrong word.
Yeah.
But teams
well, that's why I think that he's right in that sense. Like teams aren't trading away like their best players at the beginning of the year, starting an AHL team and then being like, I don't know why we're not winning games. Like,
well, I mean, the Hawks did trade DeBrincat, and
that was, I mean, that was for draft picks for the future already.
Teams are, tanking's probably the wrong word, but teams are definitely built to fail, like you said. Like,
right. Like, if they wanted to tank, Seth Jones wouldn't. I mean, he's playing well right now, but like he wouldn't be playing 23 minutes a night. Kaner wouldn't be playing close to 20 minutes a night. Like those guys would be sitting on the bench. And then Reese Johnson would have 45 motherfucking goals.
There. Okay. You're fair.
Yeah.
I get you.
Love it.
Good point. But he's still wrong about the boards not being an issue. They suck. I hate those. The boards with all the glitches and stuff.
Oh, I mean, whatever. I don't give him the time of day to like whine about it. I think it's kind of stupid to whine about the board ads. There's much more shit.
Stop taking Bettman's side on shit, dude.
I think he's the greatest person alive. So
he also did say that even though the league's not in expansion talk currently, that Molson, the owner of the Montreal Canadiens, is open to a team going to Quebec again, to Quebec City. Like he wouldn't have an issue with it because it's the same like Providence or whatever.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah, there was some. Yeah, but they were saying that he would be part of the reason why it wouldn't work out because he would have veto power over it. I don't know. I'm just saying that's what was reported. Don't shoot the messenger. Just relaying headlines.
My best friend Gary Bettman would not say that.
All right, and Vancouver, we talked about a little bit. Hinted we're talking about it again. They're a joke. Organization's a joke.
I didn't realize like what was really happening until I was seeing all the posts about like the fans like cheering Bruce Boudreau. I was like, yeah, like isn't he like about to be fired? But I didn't know they were openly like searching for a coach while he was still coaching, rather than like firing him, have an interim, and then like bring a new coach in. Like it's like when like the time is ticking. The time's already ticked, but he's still there, and it was just really weird.
He said on Sirius XM NHL channel the other day. He goes, yeah, no, I knew that was coming since October 8th. I just didn't know when it was coming. Like it's like I don't understand. They've gone through, it was like what, 6 or 7 coaches since 2013.
They're paying 3 coaches.
They're paying 3 coaches $7 million currently right now. Mm-hmm. Only one's getting paid to coach them still. But it's like they've gone through all that. They essentially have had the same roster for majority of the time. It's maybe it's not.
They make no headway with Bo Horvat deal.
You think it's maybe more on management than it is on coaching at this point?
I would assume. I don't know, because then Taka comes out game 1 against the Hawks and they score 5 and put up 48 shots. Like, is it just a new coach like fire that they kind of get, or like when Derek King came in last year after college and got fired and they actually fucking won like 5 games in a row or something? Like, is it that kind of situation, or is like, because Vancouver was making a push for the playoffs last year. This year they've been a joke at like setting records of like losing the most multi-goal like leads in games.
Multi-goal, yep.
There was such a weird team
that they brought Tocchet into just to manage JT Miller, to keep him in check.
Their new prize pony for 7 years, JT Miller.
God.
I mean, he had an assist against the Hawks with Tocchet on the bench. So I don't know.
What's insane?
Is it going to work?
What's insane though too? It's like I know we've talked shit about kind of like Noli for sure. Back when he was on the show all the time, he would talk shit about Bruce Boudreau, like, you know, the red face and angry kind of guy. Do you know, like,
great regular season coach
for like 600 like win coach? Like, forgot what the exact stat was, but he was like second all time like win percentage among coaches with like 600 wins or more.
Oh, weird.
It's like he's a solid coach.
Well, that's because he was the coach of the like Capitals that were winning President's trophies, like, and being like competitive year over year in the playoffs and always losing to Pittsburgh.
Does he get another shot somewhere, or do you think he's done?
I'm sure he gets a shot somewhere.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't coaching terribly. Like, he brought the team to almost a playoff spot last year. I don't know what the deal was this year. Vancouver's just weird.
Bad puck luck, honestly, at the beginning of the year. Like you said, you a lot of those games too. It's like they weren't like, oh, just bad hockey. They were like bad bounces that cost them goals.
Yeah, and I don't know. I know Demko's hurt now, but I don't know if he's just had like a really weirdly off year. Because like that's like their guy, and if he's not stellar, I'm sure it's just let's see, he's played 15 games, he went 3-10-2, 8.83 save percentage, and almost a 4 goals against average. Yeah, Demko's not having a good year either.
You know who's having a really good year? Boston.
Oh, Boston. Okay. It's like I didn't write that down.
First team to 80 points and only took them 47 games. I thought I saw something like they're on pace for 139 points.
Yeah, which would break the record of what, 132?
I think it's 132. Let's see.
If they get like 62 wins or something like that, that's gonna be like the record. It's like, can they do it? I don't know, man. Like, I keep
131
thinking
was the 95-96 Detroit Red Wings.
Okay, so 132 is the record.
Yeah, 132 would be the record. Yeah.
I just keep thinking, man, like, is the water gonna find its level?
We said like this was the year.
I said it last week. Yeah.
We said this year too, like before in our previews, we were saying like this is gonna be the last hurrah. Like this is gonna be finally them coming down to earth and maybe making a wild card spot. They lost 9 total games this year. That's stupid.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. And they are 22-1-3 at home. Unreal.
They just had that loss too.
Yeah.
I mean,
last thing I wanted to talk about too.
How crazy would it be if they have this magical record-setting season and then they play Toronto in the first round of the playoffs and lose?
God, that would be kind of funny.
How crazy would that be?
Do you think Marchand would cry like when he lost the Stanley Cup? I hope he does.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, dude.
I said, looking at the standings too, real quick, and then we'll wrap this up here. Is anybody having more of a sneaky good season than Toronto, who is tied with Carolina and New Jersey for second overall
in the league? Yeah, I think.
Like, I feel like you don't hear about Toronto that much this year.
No, because it was a lot of talk about Toronto last year because Austin Matthews was scoring a goal every other game.
Yeah,
actually more than 1 goal every other game because he got into a 60. Yeah, I think they haven't had like the one kind of standout season like that. Like, so they've been just playing well as a team. Yeah. And I don't think they started great, and they're doing fine. They're 18-3-4 at home. So that's I think what that seems like, that looks briefly, it looks like the best. Yep, second best home record behind Boston. I mean, it's weird because the other thing I have written down is that Cole Caulfield's out. Cole Caulfield is out. So Montreal is like, we got to look out for them in the bottom of the standings now. But the immediate first game, they beat Toronto. So just like, all right, that's really weird. Like, they have 11 players injured, and Toronto lost to Montreal. So it's just a strange one.
All right. Last thing. Yeah. Buffalo. It's another sneaky good team right now. They're 3 points behind Washington for the last wild card spot, and they have 3 games in hand. You know what looks really good? That would look really good there. A nice shiny number 88
in Buffalo. Yeah, for that playoff.
How about a former defenseman? That you had before, named Jake McCabe.
I'm trying to think.
We'll throw in Taves too. You got the cat space.
Yeah, they do. I can't remember if I said Pittsburgh or Washington wasn't going to make it in the playoffs this year, but close to being right.
Close to the wild card right now, and Jari's out until at least after the All-Star break.
Damn it! It's on my fantasy team, and I didn't even see that yet. It's like he keeps switching between like day to day and out. He was supposed to play yesterday, so
That's like I still
all right.
don't understand. Like Sorkin was supposed to play today too, and I have no idea why he's not.
It's I don't know, and it's weird
Holy
because like
stuff,
I
dude.
understand Tristan Jarry was like got injured during the Winter Classic. He came back this past week, put up 44 saves and out of 45 shots, won a game, and then was like, "See ya."
Yeah, we'll save this for
Fuck.
next week because we'll have a lot more to talk about. We'll need more to talk about, but goalies, they suck this year, and I don't care.
Or do they?
No, they do. They suck. Coming from the guy that's been trying to figure out the fantasy goalies this season because nobody can fucking stop a goddamn puck. But anyway, episode 210. What do you want to call it?
The WWW, what's happening?
WWW, what's happening?
The
All right.
what's happening?
How many W's you want me to do?
3, because there's 3 dubs.
Oh, yeah, you're right. What's happening? Okay. All right. Make sure to follow us on or check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, just YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Spotify.
Just YouTube podcasts. We'll be there. I don't know what page, but just YouTube
we'll be
it.
there. Yeah, YouTube it. Social media at WCB Podcast, and 5-star reviews and anything that will let you review us. And have a great day. We'll see you on the next one.
Love you, boys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the WCB Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast. To connect with Jarom and Tanner, check out the boys at WCB Podcast on all social media. We'll see you next time.